Guys, I want to do a quick review before you take your quiz on standard, written, and expanded form of numbers. So let's just remind ourselves that standard form is just plain regular numbers that we learned how to write starting in kindergarten and even preschool. So if I ask you to write in standard form, you're going to just think about the numbers that you learned to write. Say, for example, 6,245. And then you just remember a couple things we talked about. First, each family or house has 3 digits. Every time we move 3 digits, we're going to put a comma. And then there are going to be 3 digits in this family. So this right time for 6,245, there's only 1 digit in the thousands family. There can be up to 3 of them. So remember, when you're reading your number, you read the number inside of the family or house, 126. The comma says stop, say the family's last name. So 126,000. And then you read the number inside the next house, 245. So this is standard form. You want to do word form. One of the reasons that we really need to be good at reading our numbers is because when we're writing them in word form, we write them just like we would say them. So again, I would go inside the thousands house. This is the thousands places. This is 100,000. This is 10,000. This is 1,000. So 126,000. So just like I said, 100. And I'm going to take this slowly as you need to. I think sometimes people will think, oh, it's too much. Don't think about the whole number. Think about each little step. So when I started, I said 126. So I've read that part, 126. The comma says stop. Say the name of the house or family, 126,000. A lot of my friends this week noticed that the word thousand has the word and at the end, or even sand. So it's kind of helping them figure out how to spell this word. They're going to have to spell a lot. 126,000. And then I go into the next family. 200. 45. So this is written or word form. So that's pretty self-explanatory, right? We're using words to write the number. And then we need expanded form. We talked a lot about how expanded means it gets bigger. So in expanded form, you are telling me the value of every single digit in that number. It does not matter what order you go in, because you can add numbers in any order you want. In expanded form, we are adding each digit's value, and we're getting the same exact number. So we're writing the same exact number 3 different ways. Standard form, written or word form, expanded. So a lot of times we start with the biggest number, and that's fine. It gives us an organization. We can just go right down the road. We don't forget any of the numbers. And we figure out the value. So we start with my 1. What is the value of that 1? It's in the 100s, 100,000s place. I like to look at it and go, okay, here's the 1. How many places are after it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to give it 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I have to make sure I have my commas. Every time I have 3 digits, it goes a comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. The value of the first digit is 100,000. 100,000. Go to my next digit. It's the 2. That means we have 2 10,000s, which is 20,000. But if you're not sure about that, then we just go look how many places are behind it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 zeros. I go from the end, count 3. 1, 2, 3. There's only 3 digits in a house or family. This is 20,000. I'm going to add the next digit. Write my 6. What is the value of the 6? It's in the 1,000s place, so there are 6 1,000s, or I can count the places. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Plus. Ideally, I would want the plus on the end here, but I ran out of space. So 100,000 plus 20,000 plus 6,000 plus, I'm going to continue going in order. However, it does not have to be in that order. You can add, remember, our add-ins can be in any order and we still get the same answer. I have another 2. Is this 2 the same value as this 2? No, it's in a different place. This is in the hundreds place. So that means there are 2 hundreds. Or 1, 2 places behind it. 1, 2 zeros. That 2 is the valued at 200. Plus the next digit. There's 1 place behind it, which means there are 4 10s. We know 4 10s is 40. Plus the 5. There are no spaces behind it, so it does not get any zeros. This is expanded form. Now, here's what I need you to understand. If this was the answer to a problem and you wrote it in standard form, you would be correct. If you wrote it in written form, that's correct. It's the same number. You could even write it in expanded form. You are showing me the same number. All right. One more thing that we want to review before we take this quiz. Sometimes, like this time, I gave you standard form first, and then we wrote it in Word and expanded form. You need to be able to go in all directions. So sometimes the problem might show you something like this. What form am I using first this time? Hopefully you said word form. Okay, so if this is word form, 15,207. There are a couple things that could try to trick you up on this one. Here's what I do when I need to go from words to standard. That's the next place I want to go. I always look for those key words that mean it's like the last name of the family. So where are those words that the comma would be for those words? This is the last name that we need to remember, 1,000. So what that's telling me is that everything in front of it is inside the thousands family. Remember that comma meant 1,000? So everything on this side is part of that family. How many digits are going to be behind that comma? There are always 3 places in each family. Now, that doesn't mean that every single place is going to be full, but we need to be really careful on this one. So now I've found that word that's really important. That's that comma, 1,000. I'm going to go in front of it to figure out what goes inside the thousands family. 15. What does 15 look like? Well, we know it's a 1 and a 5. If I go here and I write 15, and I have this extra space, read that number to me. That's 150. Does this say 150,000? Okay, so we have to be careful. We know there's 3 digits in the thousands family, but in this number, 15 only has 2 digits. The 1 is in the 10,000s place. The 5 is in the 1,000s place. Now look, the number inside that family, 15,000. Okay, now next, let's go to these digits. We know we have 3. It says 200. So where does the 2 go? Ones, tens, or hundreds? 200. That's the hundreds place. 207. Okay, if I put the 7 here, sometimes I even see people do this. They'll just put the 7 down. Well, first of all, this has to have 3 digits. There's a ones place, a tens place, and a hundreds place. So let's say we put the 7 here because we see 207. So we put the 7 down. And we're like, oh, there's an extra spot, so I'm just going to give it that 0. Now read this number. 270. 207. 270. Something's not right. So now look at the problem. 15,207. Are there any tens? Do you hear 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70? No, there are no tens. 7 means there are 7 ones. So 7 needs to go in the ones place. Can I leave the tens place empty? Well, we were right. There are no tens in this number. But what number represents none? We have to show that there are no tens in this number. 15,207. So when you're going from word to standard, it can be very tricky. I really suggest you use tricks like find your word thousand and circle it. Remember, that's going to be your comma. Everything in front of that word is going to be in your thousands family. Make sure it says here what you're reading here. So when you've written it, read what you wrote. If it doesn't say 15, there's a problem. Then after your thousand, we're going to have the next family, which is the ones, tens, hundred. And we have to make sure when we read what we wrote down that it says 207. 207. And last thing, do you see the word and anywhere in those words? Nope. Be very careful. Don't put the word and. You'll start using that when we use decimals in 4th grade. Word form, standard form, expanded form. The 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, 10,000 plus 3 zeros plus 1, 2 zeros plus. Do I need to write down the 0? You do not have to. Plus 7. Sometimes you will see people include the 0 in the expanded form, and that's okay. But 0, it doesn't change the problem. When you add 0, remember, it's still the same. So you do not have to write the 0. Okay, so this is our review. Take your time, do your best on the quiz. You will be awesome.